Thousands of years ago, the Toltec were known as women and men of great knowledge. They came together in the magnificent city of Teotihuacan, where man becomes God. The esoteric teachings of the Toltec Naguals were not a religion, but more of a way of life. It draws upon the ready accessibility of happiness and love. Students from all across Mexico convened at Teotihuacan to seek after this understanding and many other branches of knowledge as well. This secret knowledge was kept preserved by a handful of priests who escaped the destruction of Teotihuacan. "3,000 years ago there was a human just like you and me who lived near a city surrounded by mountains. The human was studying to become a medicine man to learn the knowledge of his ancestors, but he didn't completely agree with everything he was learning. In his heart he felt there must be something more. In a dream, he watched his body as he slept in a cave. He felt separate from his body, but still he felt that he was himself. Before him, spreading forth from the cave opening, the beauty of the night sky captured his attention. He pondered much as he observed the cosmos and looked to his hands, the light from which shone like the stars themselves. Soon he realized something that shifted his perspective to new heights. Everything in existence is a manifestation of what we call God. God is everything. God did not create everything separate from itself, but of itself. All things are light, and we are reflections of that light as aspects of God. What we call matter is the mirror that creates reflections or images of that light. This light is then interpreted through our eyes as this reality. The student was able to see his true nature, that of love and pure light. This knowledge allowed him to see himself in all things. He saw himself in the flowers, in the animals, and reflected in the eyes of the people all around him. He understood that we are each expressions of what we call God. That God was not something to be sought externally, but rather something to rediscover within. When he returned, others saw that he had changed, but they did not understand. This was because they did not realize their own true natures, and did not see their own divinity, and so could not see that divinity in him. Each of us is a mirror, reflecting the light of God to each other. We do not see this, however, due to the smoke that obscures our true nature. The others that saw this change in him believed that he was an incarnation of God. To this he smiled and responded, "It is true that I am God. But you are also God. We are the same, you and I." He could understand the others very well. But no one could understand him. They could not see him as themselves because there was a wall of fog or smoke between them. That wall of smoke was made by the interpretation of images of light. This smoke is the dream, and you are the dreamer. As children, we didn't have the opportunity to choose our beliefs. but we agreed with the information that was passed to us from the dream of the planet via other humans. I call this process the domestication of humans. And through this domestication we learn how to live and how to dream. Don Miguel Ruiz. Hell is a state of mind. We live in hell right now. The world is filled with great suffering and injustice. This is and has been the dream of the planet for a very long time. We believe we are powerless to overcome these feelings of helplessness. Fire is generated by emotions that come from fear. When we feel the emotions of anger, jealousy, envy, or hate, we experience a fire burning within us. This is hell. These feelings are caused directly by what we are taught as children. We are taught that heaven and hell are places that we will go to someday, but heaven is a state of mind as well, and we can choose to live there at any point in time. We are living in a dream of hell. Fortunately, it does not have to be this way. The first agreement: be impeccable with your word. Speak with integrity. Say only what you mean. Avoid using the word to speak against yourself or to gossip about others. Use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love. Don Miguel Ruiz. The word is your method of communicating who you are to the rest of the world. The words we speak are like tiny seeds, and our minds can be very fertile ground. Being impeccable with your word helps to avoid planting negative seeds into others' minds, and it prevents being misunderstood by those around you. The second agreement: don't take anything personally. Nothing others do is because of you. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dream. When you are immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. Don Miguel Ruiz. How many times have we allowed what people say to us to make us angry or sad? When someone says something negative to you, what they are really doing is attempting to relieve the anger, sadness in themselves by poisoning you with negativity. This is the true meaning of the old adage, misery loves company. Remember that when someone tells you that you are stupid, it is the victim's mentality that seeks to find fault outside of themselves in order to have something external to blame and despise. But the truth lies within, and until we realize this and seek peace inside of ourselves, we are doomed to repeat this cycle of hatred forever. The third agreement: don't make assumptions. Find the courage to ask questions and to express what you really want. Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstandings, sadness, and drama. With just this one agreement, you can completely transform your life. Don Miguel Ruiz. When someone does not give you the response that you hoped for or believed you deserved, you start to make assumptions. Perhaps he or she does not really love, respect, or appreciate me. It is the assumption that you make that causes needless suffering. It could all be avoided by simply asking for clarification. The response may ultimately not be one that you wanted to hear, but at least you are not agonizing about all the possibilities, and you can deal with the issue on its own terms. The fourth agreement: always do your best. Your best is going to change from moment to moment. It will be different when you are healthy as opposed to sick. Under any circumstance, simply do your best and you will avoid self-judgment, self-abuse, and regret. Don Miguel Ruiz. Never try to do more than you are capable of at that moment in time. We all know what we are truly capable of at any given moment, and if we seek to do our best always, then we can feel content with our efforts and not resort to abusing ourselves to needless regret and negative self-image. These negative feelings serve to do nothing for us except perpetuate a state of disharmony within, and this extends to our dealings with our fellow human beings.